Hello and a warm welcome to the Federal. I'm Neelu Vyas. Voting in the northeastern state of Tripura, which is a 60-member assembly segment, has just got over. Till about 7 p.m., 81% voter turnout was reported. This northeastern state has witnessed a triangular contest this time, with the ruling BJP pitted against the arch-rival alliance of Congress and CPIM. But there have been various factors which have been prominent during this Tripura election. First, there is an anti-incumbency against BJP. Then there is an emergence of opposition alliances. There is a rise of a regional force like the Tripura Motha party. So the question we are asking is that can the ruling BJP be dislodged by the Congress CPIM alliance? Is there a Modi magic which is prominent this time in Tripura? And the third question is that if there is a hung assembly in this northeastern state, can Tripura Motha party become the kingmaker? I'm joined by three senior journalists who've worked proactively in Tripura this time for the elections. I'm joined by Subir Bhaumik. Thank you so much, Subir, for joining. I'm also joined by Mrinal Banik and Samir Purkaistha, senior journalist. Thank you so much, all of you, for joining on the Federal. And let me begin by Subir. Subir, the huge voter turnout which is seen, and when you compare it with the last voter turnout which we saw, what do you really think is the larger indication this time?
This is something that should worry the BJP for the very simple reason that the voter turnout today has been spontaneous, it has been continuous, and it has sustained beyond the voting hours. Even some time back, well into the sunset and darkness, people were still seen in queues. And it seems that in many areas where people were denied to exercise their franchise last time by the motorcycle bike gangs unleashed by the BJP leaders, these people have been beaten up black and blue in many places. And then, the central forces have intervened. And voting has been then largely peaceful. It started off early in the day with these motorcycle gangs going around and lobbing a couple of bombs here and there. But then, there was solid popular resistance. And people have now come out and voted in very large numbers, all kinds of people, tribals, Bengalis, different age groups, women, men. So this comprehensive turnout seems to indicate that people have exercised their right to vote with a bit of a vengeance, and therefore this should be seen not as something that people coming and voting for Mr. Modi or the BJP and cheering them up, because there is not very much to cheer about anyway. And, you talk about the Modi magic, nothing like that here, okay? We are used to PC Sarkar's magic. We Bengalis know PC Sarkar is the ultimate magician. Modi magic did not work in Bengal. We all know the history, and here it's a 70% Bengali population. यहाँ मोदी वोदी का मैजिक वैजिक कुछ नहीं चलता साहब. हाँ, वो डिटर्जेंट यूज कर लेंगे.
Subir, what you are saying, does this mood of a high voter turnout indicate that there is some call for a change in the government? Are people really looking for a change in Tripura?
I would imagine that, because in my own area, where I stay, where my ancestral house is, and which is where the chief minister is contesting, the chief minister, has been campaigning very heavily in his own area. Now, there are people, and I've seen them turning out today, and I've spoken to them, and they've said very clearly that last time, during the re-poll in which Manik Shah won comfortably, we were not allowed to vote. So this time we have come out, an old lady coming out at 7 p.m. in the morning saying, आमी जे करे हो वोट देवो, हम जैसे भी होगा वोट तो डालेंगे. So, I mean, this, when it comes to politics, Bengalis, I would say, are terribly, terribly serious, and they don't mind fighting it out for their rights. So here, I don't think any other magic or setting wetting जो India में होता है, वो इधर नहीं चलेगा.
Let me come to Mrinal. In 2018, I remember, when the contest was on, and during the elections, people in Tripura were looking for a change. And at that time, BJP was seen as an agent of change. In the last 5 years, what has really gone wrong with BJP? Why is there a heavy anti-incumbency? And why are people looking for a change? Why are they actually fed up with BJP?
See, BJP, if you ask me what is the main thing which is hurting the BJP, which is making it very upset in this election, it
Right.
will be the continuous violence right from the 2018, which has started post elections and continued till the 2023. We
Okay.
have seen indiscriminate violence against against people who belong to other political parties. There have been economic blockades. People who belong for supporting the left parties, they have lost their jobs. They have
Mhm.
lost their sources of livelihood. They
Mhm.
have lost their shops. A lot of incidents have happened, and this is the only thing. This continuous violence is the only thing that has hurted the BJP most in this election. And
Right.
as Shubhi sir said, I will also agree with him that people coming out in such a large number in the morning to
Hmm.
cast their vote, it is a signal of a change, I think.
Okay, so you're saying that this is a signal of some kind of a change. But what about the promises, Samir, if I may come to you? BJP promised a lot of things with jobs and, with a double engine government. When Prime Minister came to Tripura in December, he again said that, for the people of Tripura, double engine government would be better. So which means that the people really have not believed into what Prime Minister Narendra Modi also has said. Is that an indication? Samir.
See, though the indication is that particularly the large voter turnout indicates that there is change in the way, and there is a likelihood of change. But I'll still be, little cautious to, give the verdict. Because from 43 plus percentage of vote for BJP to to slide the major slide, that might not happen. And another factor, like a change of last minute change of leadership after Biplab Dev was changed.
Manik Saha.
That by that BJP tried to this thing try to do some kind of firefighting there, and we'll have to see how much it has actually worked. Because Biplab Dev's because of violence, as Mrinal said, then there were unemployment problem, teachers agitation, all those had made Biplab's government very unpopular.
Right.
And but after that, BJP started doing some damage control, bringing
Hmm.
in new chief ministers, then sustained campaign by all the biggies of the BJP,
Right.
right from Prime Minister to Amit Shah to Rajnath Singh. Many their top leaders, virtually camped in Tripura.
Hmm.
So we'll have to see whether BJP
Uh,
could finally,
yes. Samir, but recently, during the Gujarat elections, also we saw a similar kind of a pattern. They changed, they gave tickets to fresh people.
right.
Many existing MLAs were not given tickets. Then there was a change in the chief ministerial phase as well. But would that Gujarat governance model or the Gujarat model of elections, would that really work in Tripura just by changing the chief minister? Can it really be of come to BJP's advantage, Samir?
See, look, BJP had no other option because Biplab Dev was becoming so unpopular, and their internal report, 4 or 5 pages report, which was sent to this thing, the High Command, is
Hmm.
really shocking. They themselves found out, Biplab Dev getting involved in all kind of things, and so they had no other way to but to change the leader. And through that, some kind of damage control exercise was done. And this time also in distribution of ticket also, they have given preference to new faces and all these things. But we'll have to see how much that has quelled the anti-incumbency. And another factors might work in favor of this thing, BJP, is is the TMC factor. If the TMC takes away 7-8% of anti-incumbency votes, then in a smaller constituencies, that might change the scenario.
Right. So I mean, the Congress and the Left Alliance, they say the TMC is always, I mean, almost seen as a B team of BJP. So would that prove correct, Samir?
Yeah, well,
If they succeed in splitting the votes.
that's an allegation is there, and maybe they may not be willingly doing that, but their presence as an opposition party there, that can split the anti-incumbency vote.
Right. Okay.
And in a small states, 4-5% of vote can swing the result.
Right. Let me come to Subir now. Subir, talking about the Congress and the CPIM alliance. First of all, coming together of arch rivals was a surprise. But when they came together, they started contesting. What is the kind of chance of success they really hold in this election? Because I remember in 2018 elections, a lot of people from Congress had abandoned the party and they had joined BJP. So how is this factor, or how is this alliance really going to play out?
You see, the BJP and the RSS never had any real political base in Tripura.
Right.
So the BJP could make some kind of a challenge and ride the crest of an anti-left wave, just because a lot of Congress people went over to the BJP and a lot of Congress votes got transferred to the BJP. But with most of these heavyweight Congress people who had gone to BJP, now having come back to the Congress, like Sudeep Burman, Ashish Sai, and you can name a lot of them, the thing now is, Samir was talking about Trinamool. Now, it may be a 70% Bengali population here, but Tripura is Tripura and Bengal is Bengal. And people here, and Bengalis understand this one thing, it was there also in Bengal and here in Tripura. They are not going to waste their vote. So if somebody is against BJP, he is not going to vote Trinamool here because he thinks Trinamool has no chance of winning and this vote will be wasted. Vote noshto korbe na. This is something that goes very high in any Bengali area. In West Bengal also, don't vote for others because Didi must win because she has got the only chance to keep the BJP out. No, let me finish. This one is a factor. So I don't think Trinamool is making any impact here. Number one. And 4-5%, I don't think they will even get 2% of the vote.
Subir, it might not make any impact, as you say, but will it not damage the Congress and the left?
No.
Because the target...
They can damage the Congress only if they get 5% vote. They won't get that. Take it from me, they won't. You'll see the results. Which is why Trinamool is just putting up some advertisements here and there, but there's hardly any Trinamool campaign. No big Trinamool leader is here. Abhishek Banerjee came here once in a while. And at the end of the day, Abhishek Banerjee is more in news because of scams rather than being a heavyweight leader. He's not a heavyweight in Bengal as well. Forget about Tripura. The failure of the Trinamool and the failure of the BJP here is to come up with solid local leaders. The BJP has said, oh, heavyweight campaign. Modi, Amit Shah, people understand here are not going to run this state. And people here also don't want the state to be run by remote control. So, and there is another thing. Samir was right. One big bad impact BJP has made with Biplab Deb. Tripura always had very clean chief ministers. You have had chief ministers like Nipin Chakravarti, Dashrath Deb, Manik Sarkar. Personal image, absolutely spick and span clean. And then you get a chap about whom 5-page report by central agencies is a, sort of veritable Pandora's box. And I don't want to go into the details of that and waste your time. But the point is, this does not work well here. They were saying Oh, because they would compare Viplav against whom? Manik Sarkar, Vipin Chakravarti, Darshanath Dev. And they say, ye kaun aa gaya idhar mein? Ye kaun? And then what? RSS and BJP also lost credibility because they made Viplav the chief minister because he is an RSS man. And they said, oh, this is the RSS. Ye standard hai. Itna bhashan dete hain. And then you come up with this kind of a chap who is into all kinds of problems. And last point I want to make here is, this whole thing that BJP schemes and other things have not really translated. And also, on some of the other scores like connectivity projects, it's running way beyond schedule. The most important thing here is, normally the BJP would
Subir, why
say,
do you
"Arey,
say-
ye khichdi ka sarkar hai." No.
But Subir, why do you say that the central government schemes have not worked in Tripura? Was there some kind of
they have.
divergence
No.
between
It's
central
not.
and the state government?
It's not the fault of the central government. The implementation here has been very poor and weak
No, that's
because
what
of rival factions fighting for contracts and getting into trouble.
Okay.
BJP factions have fought each other. So what I'm trying to tell you is, here is the main factor. You see, Viplav was removed, Manik Sarkar was Manik Saha was brought in.
Yes.
Pratima Bhaumik has now been fielded. She is an MOS in central government.
Right.
So there are three poles of power within BJP, and there is a loud sort of, rumor going around that Manik Saha ko agar koi harayega to Viplav or Pratima mil ke harayega. Now, I don't want to go into these rumors. But the point is, whereas the opposition, which the BJP has been saying is khichdi, meaning different parties, has a very clear chief minister face, Jiten Chaudhary. And the Congress leaders have also made it clear he is also our chief minister.
No, but these
He's not
various
just the chief
camps-
minister of the left.
Subir, these
On the
various
other hand,
camps which you are
in
talking
BJP,
about,
the leadership question is not settled. It's not settled.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm asking, Subir, that these various camps you were talking about, there's rampant factionalism within the BJP camp, but has it got widely reported as far as the media coverage is concerned, that there's factionalism in BJP? Has it got widely reported?
Should I tell you something?
Yes.
I have seen media reporting, especially in the national media in the last 15-20 days that have focused on Tripura. Okay? And I can tell you one thing for sure, being a journalist for the last 40 years, it's useless coverage. I'm sorry to say this. Inko kuch nahi pata hai. I am saying this very loudly so that some of them listen. ये बाइट कल्चर का बकवास जो है ना हम देख चुके हैं. You just go to the Maharaj, you just go to Sudeep Burman, and you think you have a story because you don't understand. आपको यहाँ का कोई एहसास नहीं है.
Purposely, I asked you this question. Purposely,
These are the journalists who say BJP will get 200 seats in Bengal, and they have bloody egg on their face at the end of the day. You know what? You try to judge Bengali population with the yardstick of Gujarat and Uttar Pradesh, you are making the first major mistake.
Right.
This is a very different kind of a people. They are not scared of violence. They can meet violence with violence for their own political thing. Because Bengal never did the politics of Gandhiji. Our politics here was the politics of the bomb from the British days and down the ages. So यहाँ politics के लिए आम आदमी जिस तरह से खड़ा हो जाता है, ये सब दूसरा जगह नहीं होता है.
Okay.
तो यहाँ मोदी जी, जोगी जी से कुछ नहीं होने वाला है.
Right. Let me come to Mrinal, that we were talking about the Congress and the CPIM alliance, Mrinal. How are the odds stacked against this alliance? I mean, in terms of challenges, what do you think are the difficulties? What do you think are the hurdles? Or do you think that this alliance really stands a chance this time? And they might come back to power, as Sitaram Yechuri just said a few days ago, that this progressive government will come back with a huge majority. That's what he claimed. So do you see any hurdles, or it stands a smooth chance to come to power?
No, definitely this CPM Congress alliance has a chance to come to power. But yes, there are some differences within both the leadership of both the parties, because they have been fighting each other for years. They have been fighting each other for decades, and now all of a sudden they have to settle down somewhere for a common minimum program, just for the sake of the elections. So in that case, there are some differences within the leadership, but yes, they are committed to form a government. And if you see the voting patterns of 2018, the Congress used to get 40%, above 40% votes in every elections. So all the heavyweight Congress leaders who once played a crucial role in forming the first BJP government of Tripura, they are back in Congress, and we don't have any idea how what percentage of vote they are carrying back. And and CPIM is confident that they have a 40% vote share intact. So if this is the case, these two parties coming together makes a vote share that is unbeatable by the BJP. But again, the BJP in the last 5 years has done a lot of work. They have tried to reach out to people, 2-3 lakhs uh, Awas Yojana, PM Awas Yojana housing scheme. 3 lakh people got the benefits. So, but here is also a case that those who get the houses, they were not BJP supporters, because these houses were distributed according to the 2011 socio-economic census, and that time the CPM was in power. So generally the CPM will select beneficiaries according to their benefits, right? The votes, the people who will vote for them, they will be their benefit.
So
They
you
will
mean
be
to
the
say that the BJP supporters haven't got those benefits coming from the central government?
mostly.
And that
And
could be the sign of some kind of a disgruntlement?
yes, of course.
Okay.
Even we have seen that in when the Prime Minister Awas Yojana housing scheme, a lot of houses were distributed among people. The BJP supporters came out in protest in different parts of the state. They were saying that even after supporting the BJP, we are not getting anything. We have been deprived for 25 years, and now again we are deprived when our party is in power. So this disgruntlement has
Is the
been.
senior, Mrinal, is the senior leadership of the BJP aware of this problem, that their own cadres, their own supporters, they are not happy and satisfied?
Let me tell you one story. When Dr. Manik Shah was appointed the chief minister, he was appointed first and then he was elected. So
Right.
when he was appointed the chief minister of the state, one of the person who is holding a strong cabinet but in his cabinet was throwing chair on each other. Okay, so this was the kind of anger brewing within the leadership. So you
Right.
can imagine what the BJP going to, what kind of situation BJP is going
Hmm. Okay. Let me come to you, Samir, now. Yes, Subir, you want to make a point? Yes.
Yeah, I want to make a quick point. You are asking Mrinal about the hurdles. What are the hurdles? The main hurdle that the left and Congress alliance will face is that even if they are close to BJP and the two configurations get something like 25 seats each,
Right.
and then has to depend on the Tripura Motha to form a government. It is at that point that the Congress and the left may not be able to mobilize the entire Tripura Motha support despite Maharaj Pradyut being with them, because the BJP will poach. I know it for a fact they will poach Tripura Motha legislators who have been elected with all kinds of things that they have to offer.
No, but Subir, hasn't Tripura
And this is
Motha?
something I don't think the left and the Congress can encounter.
No, that's fine. But then what about Tripura Motha, who has been insisting on a written assurance for a greater Tripura land? That's what his demand has been right from the beginning. So would you do, I mean,
That is the biggest hoax. That is the biggest hoax that Maharaja Pradyut has been playing on people. You ask him, and I have asked him 5 times.
Why do you say it's a hoax?
No, because I know Maharaj, I was his tutor. So when he was in class 5, okay. So I know this guy. I asked him very clearly, Maharaj apna Raj ko todna chahte hain? Bole nahi. Matlab kya hai? You see, he has done this. I will tell you, explain this to you. He realized one thing. He was the president of the Pradesh Congress. He realized that his royal lineage is not going to make him a chief minister here, because all national parties will go for a Bengali chief minister. This was the major issue when the left first came to power in 1978. Some of the traditional communist leaders, including some of the traditional Congress leaders, communist leaders, including Biren Datta, who was the founder, had said Dashrath Dev Verma should be the chief minister, the famous tribal leader. But Pramod Dasgupta, who came from CPM Politburo, said, no, Bengali state, Bengali majority, so Nipen Chakravarti should be. Now, this affected the tribal psyche. So, Maharaj realized that the only way he can come to the forefront is not by being in a national party. So, he got into this, he set up this Motha, and he tried to, mobilize on a very high pitch the tribals behind him. His game was that out of the 20 seats, if I can win 16 to 18 by talking of Tripura land, and then the Bengali votes will be divided on political lines. And if these parties get 16, 17, whatever, I will be the senior partner, and I will then not just be the kingmaker, but the king. This was his best case scenario. Now that seems to be falling apart for one simple reason. By putting up Jiten Chaudhary as the face of the prospective left and Congress alliance, if they win, there has been a huge swing back of the tribal votes from the Motha in the last few days. There's been a swing of support from because the Maharaj has been very ambivalent. He's not been very clear what he means by Tripura land. Does it mean breaking up of Tripura? He's been very ambivalent. His supporters have said we want a state. But Maharaj has told me, not once but 3 times, that I asked him, Apna Raj ko koi Maharaj todta hai? Bolna bilkul nahi. So, he has used this as a vehicle for mobilization. But then, his game was if he could jockey into a position where his party would be in a driver's seat, then of course, you'd back off from that with some different idea. But the point here is that Motha se, there has been a swing of support because they think CPM and Congress has a better chance of challenging BJP, and with a tribal chief minister face, here is somebody, Tripura land does not seem to be viable because even the BJP has made it very clear that we are not for reorganization of the territorial boundaries of Northeast. क्योंकि ये यहाँ होगा त्रिपुरा में तो असम में फिर से बोडोलैंड वगैरह ये सब शुरू हो जाएगा. So the point here is that Tripura land was never on. It's a big hoax. It's a sort of mobilization device. But here now there is a swing of tribal votes from Motha to CPM because they see a tribal chief minister coming if they win. So here I think the Maharaj is going to take a back seat. He's not very well. He's very sick actually.
Subir, if you talk about the tribal vote, you also have a party like the Indigenous People's Front of Tripura. Now, because obviously they are an ally to the BJP, but how does the tribal vote transfer then? They have their own tribal votes. Tripura Motha will have their own tribal votes. Do we see some kind of a coming together of that?
No. I think Tripura Motha will get a lot of vote, particularly among the younger tribals who have been sort of, geared up by the Maharajas, Tripura land and all that stuff. But there is also a very strong traditional communist tribal vote. But don't forget, the Communist Party originated in Tripura from the hills, and not unlike West Bengal, where they originated in the refugee settlements of East Bengali refugees. Here, the legendary tribal leader who started the communist movement here, Dashrath Dev. So here, let us make it very clear. A lot of people sort of, automatically think Bengal and Tripura are the same. It's not the case. There is a tribal question here. And I am sure that the tribal vote is going to be divided between Motha and the CPIM. And here the Congress, the BJP, and now the IPFT will also take a backseat. Because IPFT had these radical tribals with them who have gone over to Motha. Because the Maharaja promised them Tripura land. And the traditional, more conservative tribals who believe in living properly with the Bengalis, they are with the CPM. Congress is always a Bengali party here, so is the BJP. They hardly have any base in tribal areas. And many of these leaders, including Manik Sarkar, has never lived in a tribal home, which I have done, in remote tribal areas through my journalism. So these are Shahari leaders, SFI, DYF types, who sit and discuss Marx and Camus in coffee houses, but have very little understanding of their own tribals. Now, here, let me make one last point, which is that here the scenario is very clear. The main fight here is between the BJP, IPFT, and the left and CPM on the other hand. And if these guys run each other very close and fail to get a clear majority on their own, then the Motha becomes important. And in that case, maybe the Maharaj would like to, go with Congress and left and give them outside support because he's the Maharaj. Unless he can be chief minister, I don't think he's going to be in government. He has his own ego and all that. But in that case, the Maharaj will have a very tough time keeping his people with him because the BJP is going to land here with tons of money. Some of these Motha guys have strong extremist linkages. Underground NLFT के साथ में इनका ताल्लुकात है. वो case आ जाएगा, बहुत कुछ होगा. BJP is very good with these kind of games. So, then the Maharaj's challenge will be to keep his own flock together.
Absolutely.
And that is where the big hurdle for CPM and Congress, because that kind of game, they are not really, either they don't have that financial muscle, and they're not in government in center. So that is one game. You're asking about the hurdle. That is the biggest challenge that these people are going to face if they don't get a clear majority of their own. In that case, there will be a lot of problems.
Right. Let me come to Samir now. Samir, we're talking about a scenario where there could be a hung assembly. Now, what are the chances in terms of percentage? Do you really feel that there could be a hung assembly? And why is there a speculation over a hung assembly this time?
Yeah, that is the most likely scenario. That's why I'm saying that.
You're saying that's the most likely scenario.
The most likely scenario. That's what I feel, and that's why in the beginning, I had said that I am not yet ready to give any verdict against BJP. So the best case scenario for the BJP will be getting 20 plus seats, 21 seats, and then through manipulation, get another 8-9 seats to form the next government. So that is one likely scenario. And why I'm saying this, this CPIM and Congress alliance, we'll have to see how, because this is a very new kind of arrangement made in the Tripura context, because till the last 2018, mostly Tripura so bipolar contest, and where the CPIM and the Congress were the main main rivals. So we have to see whether this and Congress had for over the years they had been complaining of suppression and all kind of things that CPIM did to their cadres and functionaries. So whether those congressmen, on the Congress supporters, workers, on the grassroots worker supporters, whether they will endorse this alliance, that is one big question. Right. And interestingly, no single top Congress leaders campaigned in Tripura. Now, right. Rahul Gandhi didn't visit. Right. So, and there are a lot of resentment even in the CPIM camp over this. They are saying that after alliance, the Congress is not giving enough effort.
Right.
So whether the Congress vote will shift to CPIM, this that we need to see.
Absolutely. Okay. Let me take the last question to Mrinal now. That Mrinal, what is your hunch? I mean, is there going to be a hung assembly, or do you think that there's going to be a simple majority, maybe either for BJP or for the Congress and the left alliance?
So far, I understand. I don't think people of Tripura will vote for a hung assembly. Okay. Because our traditionally our people of this state are very politically conscious.
Right.
And in some points, I also agree with Shubhi sir that Jiten Chaudhary is a chief ministerial candidate of CPM Congress Alliance, and it will make an impact. But I am also not ready to agree that a lot of votes that was shifted to Tripura Motha during the ADC election will come back, because when you see, I have witnessed, I have physically witnessed a lot of political rallies of Pradyut Kishore Debbarman, and the sway he holds over the people is, it it can't be explained if you don't see. And lately, the party has been also trying to reach out to some of the other marginalized groups, the SC communities, the OBC communities, the people in the minority dominated seats. So they have created their own support base beyond the ST reserve seats. So if TMC is not going to play a spoil sport, Tipramotha may play a spoil sport for CPM
Okay.
Congress alliance.
Okay.
So I think we have to. It will be best for us to wait for March 2, when the results will be out. But
Okay.
but still, given the voting patterns, I will say that people have voted, and it is a signal of change.
Okay, signal of change. Okay, both of you raised hands. Let me come to
yeah,
Sameer
I'll
and then
just-
very
yeah.
briefly, and then I'll go to Subir. Yes.
About this tribal, tribe. So Tripura Mautha, though it's projected as a tribal party, but in Tripura, even the tribal groups are not homogeneous. There are many sub tribes, and Tripura Matha is mostly the party of Tipris.
Right.
So we have to see the other tribes like Riangs. Riangs had traditionally not very good relations with the Tipris. So, whether and Mr. Chaudhary, CPIM's this chief ministerial face, he himself is a mob, a smaller tribal community. So those factors will also play. It's not that it's very homogeneous and compact tribal groups voting for one party. It may not be like that.
Okay. Last word to you, Subir. You also raised your hand. Yes.
Yes, Samir is right. The Tripuris, Devvarmas, they will largely vote for Maharaj, because Maharaj is from their ethnic stock. He's right that the Riangs, the Mogs, the other tribes, they are likely to go with CPM, and that's one of the reasons why Jiten Chaudhary has been fielded. That there is no heavyweight Tripuri leader today in the CPIM. So let the Maharaja run away with the Tripuri votes, but other tribes who are there, the smaller tribes, their vote comes to CPM, good enough. CPM will do well. Last point I think I want to make is that, the CPM Congress alliance working on ground. I have seen this. I've seen Bengal. It didn't work. Here, it has worked at 3 levels. Last 6 months, this has been in the offing. From bar council election to different places, joint panels by the two parties, two formations have been fielded, and they have won. Everywhere they have beaten BJP, especially the bar council election. Secondly, I've seen the campaigning on ground, and where all the Congress and every single rally has been addressed jointly. The reason that Rahul Gandhi and others were not brought here was to send a clear message that here the Congress is happy to take a junior partner role. And the last absolute thing this morning I've seen, where the Congress and the leftist cadres joined hands and beat back the motorcycle bike gangs of the BJP, injuring. They fared very badly. So on ground level, I've seen this working at the cadre level and at the local leadership level. And in place like Tripura, at the end of the day, Modi ji kitna bar aa gaya, Rahul ji kitna bar aa gaya, these are very marginal factors. Make it very clear. This is a very far frontier state where the feeling is very different. If the big leaders come, promise, and then don't deliver, it actually damages your party much more. So this culture of promises and unkept promises actually hampers, and you know what I'm trying to drive at.
Absolutely. So we'll wait and watch what happens on 2nd March when the counting happens. And one appeal to the viewers who are watching this discussion: share this video as widely as you can. Stay tuned to the Federal. Thank you, gentlemen. Mrinal, it was lovely to have you on the program. Shubir, you were good. and excellent with your thoughts and your opinions. And Samir, thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Subscribe to the Federal's YouTube page for more interesting updates.